Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Medical Hub. Before starting the video, if you like my video then please subscribe my channel and watch more videos and share with your friends. So now let's start. Today's topic is gastrointestinal system and their disease related MCQs. In this video I had given some at least 20 questions with answers, and those questions is a little bit of difficult. So I had given the rationale for the understanding of answers. So now let's see. Question number first. The physician has determined that the client with hepatitis has contracted the infection from contaminated food. The nurse understands that this client is most likely experiencing what type of hepatitis? Option A, hepatitis A, B, hepatitis B, C, hepatitis C, and D, hepatitis D. Right answer is A, hepatitis A. Rationale of this question is hepatitis A is transmitted by fecal oral route by contaminated food or infected food handlers. Hepatitis B, C, and D are transmitted most commonly via infected blood or body fluids. So it's the rationale of question number first. Next question. The nurse is caring for a client with diagnosis of chronic gastritis. The nurse monitors the client knowing that this client is at risk for which vitamin deficiency? A, vitamin A, B, vitamin B12, C, vitamin C, and D, vitamin E. Right answer is B, vitamin B12. Rationale of this question is chronic gastritis causes deterioration and atrophy of the lining of the stomach, leading to the loss of the function of the parietal cells, and the source of intrinsic factor is lost, which result in the inability to absorb vitamin B12. Next question. A client is suspected of having hepatitis. Which diagnostic test result will assist in confirming this diagnosis? A, elevated hemoglobin level, B, elevated serum bilirubin level, C, elevated blood urea nitrogen level, and D, decreased erythrocyte sedimentation rate. Right answer is B, elevated serum bilirubin level or increased serum bilirubin level. Rationale is laboratory indicators of hepatitis include elevated liver enzyme, elevated serum bilirubin level, elevated erythrocyte sedimentation rate, and leukopenia. And an elevated blood urea nitrogen level may indicate renal dysfunction. Next question. The nurse is reviewing the record of a client with Crohn's disease. Which stool characteristics should the nurse expect to note documented in the client's record? A, diarrhea, B, chronic constipation, C, constipation alternating diarrhea, D, stool constantly oozing from the rectum. Right answer is A, diarrhea. Rationale of this question is Crohn's disease is characterized by non-bloody diarrhea of usually not more than 4 to 5 stools daily. Over time, the diarrhea episodes increase in frequency, duration, and severity. Next question. The nurse is reviewing the physician's order written for a client admitted to the hospital with acute pancreatitis. Which physician order should the nurse question if noted on the client chart? A, NPO status or nil per oral status, B, nasogastric tube insertion, C, morphine sulfate for pain, and D, an anticholinergic reaction. Right answer is C, morphine sulfate for pain. Rationale is mepiridine rather than morphine sulfate is the medication of choice to treat pain because morphine sulfate can cause spasm in the sphincter of OD. Option A, B, and D are appropriate interventions for the client with acute pancreatitis. Next question. A client is taking lansoprazole for the chronic management of peptic ulcer. The nurse advised the client to take which product if needed for headache? A, naproxen, B, ibuprofen, C. acetaminophen, and D. aspirin. Right answer is C. acetaminophen, used for the headache. Rationale is a client with peptic ulcer should avoid taking medication that are irritating to the stomach lining. Irritants would include aspirin and NSAIDs drugs. Next question. The physician has written an order for ranitidine 300 mg once daily. The nurse schedules the medication for which time? A. At bedtime, B. After lunch, C. Bit super, and D. Before breakfast. Right answer is A. At bedtime. Because of ranitidine is a histamine 2H2 receptor antagonist, and a single daily dose of ranitidine is scheduled to be given at bedtime. This allows for a prolonged effect and the greatest protection of the gastric mucosa. Next question. The nurse is performing an abdominal assessment and inspects the skin of the abdomen. The nurse performs which assessment technique next? A. Palpates the abdomen for size. B. Palpates the liver at the right rib margin. C. Listen to vowel sounds in all four quadrants. And D. None of the above. Right answer is C. Listen to vowel sounds in all four quadrants. Rationale is the appropriate sequence for abdominal examination is first one is inspection and auscultation, and then percussion, and last one is the palpation. Auscultation is performed after inspection to ensure that the motility of the vowel and vowel sounds are not altered by percussion or palpation. Next question. The nurse is reviewing the medication record of a client with acute gastritis. Which medication, if noted on the client's record, would the nurse question? A. Digoxin, B. Furosemide, C. Indomethacin, and D. Propranolol hydrochloride. Right answer is C. Indomethacin. Rationale is indomethacin is a NSAIDs drug and can cause ulceration of the esophagus, stomach and small intestine. And indomethacin is contraindicated in the client with gastrointestinal disorders. Next question. The nurse is assessing client 24 hours following a cholecystectomy. The nurse notes that the T-tube has drained 750 ml of green-brown drainage since the surgery. Which nursing intervention is appropriate? A. Clamp the T-tube. B. Irrigate the T-tube. C. Notify the physician, and D. Document the finding. Right answer is D. Document the finding. Rationale is following cholecystectomy, drainage from the T-tube is initially bloody and then turns to the greenish brown color. The drainage is measured as output. The amount of expected drainage will range from 500 to 1000 ml per day. Next question. The nurse is assessing for stoma prolapse in a client with a colostomy. What should the nurse observe if a stoma prolapse occurs? A. Protruding stoma. B. Sunken and hidden stoma. C. Narrowed and flattened stoma. And D. Dark and bluish colored stoma. Right answer is a protruding stoma. Rationale is a prolapsed stoma is one in which the wall protrudes through the stoma. A stomach retraction is characterized by sinking of the stoma. Next question. Barrett esophagus is an example of A. Neoplasia, B. Metaplasia, C. Dysplasia, and D. Carcinoma in situ. Right answer is B. Metaplasia. Barrett esophagus is an example of metaplasia. Rationale is Barrett esophagus is marked by the presence of columnar epithelia in the lower esophagus, replacing the normal squamous cell epithelium. So it's an example of metaplasia. Next question. Foodborne illness associated with eating raw and undercooked eggs is generally attributable to A. Campylobacter jejuni, B. L. monocytogenes, C. Salmonella enteritis, and D. C. Botulinum. Right answer is C. Salmonella enteritis. Next question. About 80% of gallstone are composed of A. Calcium, B. Bile, C. Bilirubin, and D. Hardened cholesterol. Right answer is the hardened cholesterol. So 80% of gallstone are composed of the hardened cholesterol. Next question. Which of the following symptoms is not associated with dyspepsia? A. Feeling overly full after a normal meal. B. Mild to severe epigastric pain. C. Black tarry stools. And D. Epigastric burning sensation. Right answer is C. Black tarry stools. Next question. The client with Crohn's disease has a nursing diagnosis of pain acute. The nurse should teach the client to avoid which action is managing this problem. A. Massaging the abdomen. B. Using relaxation technique. C. Using antispasmodic medication. And D. Lying supine with the legs straight. Right answer is the lying supine with the legs straight. Rationale of this question is lying with the legs extended is not useful because it increases the muscle tension in the abdomen, which could aggravate inflamed intestinal tissue as the abdominal muscles are stretched. So, patient should avoid these position. Next question. Disorders that increase risk for chronic pancreatitis include all of the following except A. Cystic fibrosis, B. Hypercalcemia, C. Excessive alcohol consumption, and D. Hyperthyroidism. Right answer is D. Hyperthyroidism. Next question. Abdominal pain associated with appendicitis is generally described as A. Near the diaphragm, B. Relieved by eating, C. Near or around the umbilicus and in the right lower quadrant of the abdomen, D. Worse in the morning. Right answer is C. Near or around the umbilicus and in the right lower quadrant of the abdomen. Next question. All of the following are symptoms of peptic ulcer except A. Pain is relieved by eating, B. Pain is unrelenting and quickly worsens, C. Pain is relieved by antacids, and D. Pain occurs at night when the stomach is empty. Right answer is B. Pain is unrelenting and quickly worsens. Next question. Symptoms of ulcerative colitis may include abdominal pain, rectal bleeding, diarrhea, and all of the following except A. Anemia, B. Weight loss, C. Joint pain, and D. Bradycardia. Right answer is D. Bradycardia. Thank you for watching us.